Let's talk racists. In fact, let's talk about an individual racist, a single racist. Let's talk about Gavin McInnes. Gavin McInnes, who is one of the founders of Vice and is also considered the founder of the so-called Proud Boys group, as it's known, although he pretends not to be a part of it anymore. Gavin McInnes is also, you may have seen his picture, I don't know, he wears glasses and he's got one of those ridiculous hipster beards. Have you seen that? Yeah, so Gavin McInnes is upset with his neighbors in Westchester County. Westchester County is a pretty, most of it is a pretty nice place to live. And I'm sure he lives in quite a nice place. In fact, this article that I'm reading in the Washington Post, Huffington Post, calls it a Tony neighborhood outside New York City. Beautiful waterside community in Larchmont. Oh yeah, Larchmont's nice. I know Larchmont. Okay, so he's very upset now. McInnes, again, he founded this violent, misogynistic hate group, street gang, the Proud Boys, bunch of idiots. And he's upset. I'm sorry, I gotta laugh. He's upset because his neighbors are displaying these signs. My neighbors in Maryland have them too. Hate has no home here. A lot of the churches and other religious organizations, well, sometimes they have like greetings or the word welcome and like, you know, a dozen different languages, Spanish and Arabic and so on. And hate has no home here. And he's another says, a resident said when asked, we stand together as a community and violence and hate are not welcome here. Well, now Gavin and his wife seem to think that this is an insult to them, which is, of course, true because they're eminently insultable people, or at least he is. Okay, here's what he says. McInnes wrote a letter complaining about it, and saying this, quote, if you are a liberal, then you are by definition tolerant. And if you truly eschew hate, a nice use of the word eschew there, Gavin, you should know that loving your neighbor, your actual neighbor, is where tolerance begins. So let's get it straight. This guy who's intolerant and hateful, and trust me, he is upset that his neighbors aren't being tolerant of his intolerance. Quote, he adds, I am writing on behalf of my family to ask you to reconsider whether the message of your lawn sign moves our world and our village in the direction of love for all, or whether it sends a very different message instead. Now, of course, love for all is a funny message for the founder of a gang that beats up people to be pushing, but the neighbors had some things to say about it to the Huffington Post. One of them said, quote, if you're so tolerant, then put up an effing sign in your yard too, but they said the word, and stop being so narcissistic as to think this is all about you. And by the way, here's how, and I wanted to get to this more than anything else. He says that he is a businessman and humorist, quote unquote, and that the Proud Boys are merely, quote, a drinking club I started several years ago as a joke, end quote. Now that's absolutely not true, but he keeps trying to say that he's a humorist. Some of these other dirtballs have been doing that too, like Milo. As the article in the HuffPost points out, ABC News said he was a spectacle and quote unquote a provocateur rather than an extremist gang leader, which is what he actually is. Look, come on, the guy forms a hate group, but what they do when they call it humor is they're trying to engage us in a process of desensitization where racist, white nationalist talk is accepted as the truth. Now, I could go on and on about why Gavin McInnes is really the hate speech, hate monger that he truly is, but I'd rather take the remaining minute or so first of all, to laugh at him for being such a jerk. Secondly, to say, look, Gavin, that beard is ridiculous. Third, it turns out that he's a rich kid. And I found that out by doing a little research on him. His dad had a company called Gallium. People who remember the television program Leave It to Beaver may remember the character of Eddie Haskell, the unctuous, wealthy, butt-kissing friend or schoolmate of one of the main characters, Wally Cleaver. Now, Gavin McInnes is Eddie Haskell as a hate speaker. That's what he really is. And, you know, he's pretending to be part of the working class, one of the boys. Dude, your name is Gavin. Come on. And, but I want to be fair to Gavin McInnes. So, Gavin, I'll tell you what, you're welcome to come on this program anytime to defend yourself from these accusations or just to explain why you are what you are.